All right, thank you guys for being here. Big week for us, another week in the conference. Excited about the opportunity. We got an awfully good football team coming to town this Saturday. Obviously, we've had some good battles the last few years for as part of the conference championship, but this game's being played a little bit earlier in the season, which makes it a little bit different. But it's still a big game. You know, Monmouth, Coach Callahan does a heck of a job. They're well coached. They're by far the best football team to date we played. Offensively, they're the most explosive we played. The running back, who's played for them for a while, is leading the country in rushing. The quarterback's got, I think, somewhere around 2,500 yards of total offense. He's thrown for over 2,000. They're spreading it out to a lot of guys. They got some skilled guys, 23, 2 outside that do it. They got a big offensive line. Defensively, they're playing better than they played. A lot of guys that have played against us, maybe not started, but they're playing really well right now, playing hard, and their special teams are good. So they're a good football team. They're playing really well right now, and we're going to have to get ready to go play our best game to have our opportunity to continue to build on what we're trying to do here. So at this point in time, I'll open the floor for questions.
Coach, expand on Bohannon and Guerrero. It seems like they've taken it to another level this year. What are you seeing as a difference in their play from years previous? How have they gotten better?
Well, I mean, the running back, he's been good the whole time he's been there. I mean, and he catches a crease, he'll set you up, and he'll put his foot in the ground, man, and he can take it to the house in a heartbeat, and so he's able to break tackles. He's just a really good football player, and he's been really good for them. I think the quarterback may be the difference in their offense right now. I think he's taken his game to another level, more consistent. Not as many negative plays, doing a good job using his feet when he needs to, which is a huge weapon. When you get some pressure, things break down, he can use his feet to go extend a drive or whatever it might be. And I think they're really spreading it out. They're just running their offense, doing what they need to do, spreading the ball with us to the tight end or to their wideouts or to their slots, whatever they need to do, and they're really fairly balanced in what they do. They really make you defend the field. It's not like you just go defend one thing. You got to defend it all. They do a really nice job. So I think those two guys are kind of where it starts. Their offensive line, when they jog out on the field, it's going to tilt on Saturday. They're huge. They're big. They're physical offensive line. So they do a really good job. I mean, and it's going to be a challenge for us.
Looks like, particularly in conference play, they're playing better on defense this year than they have in past years. What have you seen on the tape that they're doing better than they had done previously?
Well, I think they're playing harder and they're playing more cohesive or tackling better. And I think each week you can kind of see them. Well, I shouldn't say growing up, but getting a little better every week. And they had some out of conference games that were pretty challenging in itself. But I'm gonna tell you what. Now they're playing extremely hard, playing with a lot of confidence right now. So we got to go get ready to execute.
You always talk about that chip on the shoulder that your team has had since it started. To some extent, they may have one on theirs coming in here just because the last couple of years, the results, the way things have gone.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, it's conference play. You're trying to, everybody's goal is to win the league, and this is a league game, and so I think it's a big deal for them. It's a big deal for us. It's a big game, and you got to prepare for it that way, just as you should every week. But I think our kids understand. I'm sure they have whatever going on at their place. I try to worry as much about what we're doing because that's really most important for us. But I'm sure, like I've said every week to you guys, they're going to play their very best game on Saturday. They're going to come down here and play their best game. There's no two ways about it.
Can you talk a little about Kevin Ficklin, another one of those stories that's a walk-on guy that now has become somewhat into a prominent role for you, and he really delivered last Saturday when you were so short-handed.
Yeah, he played well. The great thing about Kevin Ficklin is he comes to work the same every day. He's a great practice player. He works his tail off. He's always going 100 miles an hour. He comes in the building the same way every day. And I know you've heard me say this, but these are the guys that show up, when their opportunity comes up, they're ready for it. And I can't really say enough good things about the way Kevin goes about his business. I think uh, our team and his teammates have a ton of respect for him. I think he's probably more of a leader than he even realizes because of the way he goes about his business. And I'm not surprised by what he did Saturday. I guess everybody hadn't seen it, but the way he practices. In fact, we had said it during the week. We're like, man, he's flying around like he's, and that's Kevin Ficklin. So extremely proud of what he's accomplished, and just love his attitude, and he really represents what it means to be a Kennesaw State football player.
You said last week, at this time before North Alabama, you've gone up to, you played, forced 4 turnovers, didn't turn the ball over, showed attention to detail. Had similar weather conditions, this past week. If I recall correctly, didn't turn the ball over again. You know, where is, because you said these guys aren't young anymore, is this becoming the team that is detail oriented the way that you want it, the way you expected it as the season's going on?
I hope so. I mean, I think we've made some progress. I told you guys that 2 weeks ago. I thought we'd made some progress. You know what I mean? And I look at us all the time. You know what I mean? I'm going, what are we capable of, and are we reaching that? So I think we've made some progress. I don't think we're there yet, but I do think we're trending in the right way. As far as things like when you look at the turnover deal, and that's a huge deal. I mean, you don't turn the ball over, you're gonna have a chance to win the game now. I mean, you go look at the history of the game. I mean, so I think that's a positive thing. I think it's guys focused and attention to detail of what they're trying to get done. And we got to continue to do that. We got to even do it better than we've done. So I think we've done some good things. I think we're practicing a little bit better, which carries over to Saturday, which is really critical. So I think there's been some positive things. I told our guys, a couple of weeks ago, I said we did some things better, and we got to build on that. And in the game Saturday, if you look at all of it, there was some good and some bad, like always. But I think there's some areas we're trending in the right direction right now.
Coach, obviously the passing game wasn't a needed factor in the game Saturday, but on the Ficklin touchdown, a lot of other big runs, perimeter blocking, in my eyes, seemed pretty good. Upon tape evaluation, what'd you say of the receivers?
Yeah, I think we did some good things on the perimeter. I tell you, the one guy that hadn't played a bunch that I thought really did a really nice job blocking was Adolu. I think he had like 7 defenders to the ground in the game. Anytime you see those slots or even the Q get a big play, it's going to be because those guys out on the edge are locked up on their guys. So I think we did some good things. I think we did a good job at the slot. We need to hang on to a few more blocks outside, but I think when you get the explosive plays, more times than not, it's going to be those guys out on the perimeter locked on their guys, and those are long blocks at times, and they're hard to maintain. And so the wideout group and the slot group, when there's big plays, you can really go to that group and what they do out on the perimeter, give their buddies a chance, to get in the end zone.
You updated us a couple weeks ago on the 4-game redshirt situation. Did that change any when you had so many bodies you were missing last week at all?
Well, I mean, we had some availability, and we did some things like Kamari Lewis played Saturday for the first time. And he played a good bit, and he got banged up during the game. But there's certain positions we've hung on to some things to try to help ourselves, and we've talked about that a little bit. And it was, if we needed to do it some last week, it was a good week to do it because we were down so many bodies. That was one I know we used. Obviously, Jonathan Murphy, that was the first game he had played in, and we kind of hung on to that as long as we could. And he has 3 more games, and we're going to hang on to those as best we can going into this final stretch. But I'm going to tell you, I love the rule. I think it's awesome. Throughout the course of this year, we've had to play guys because of depth issues, whereas in the past, either you would have burned their red shirt on a half a game, or you would have had to navigate moving a bunch of people around. So it's been really beneficial. This year it's shown up more than ever for whatever reason. But it's been huge for us this year. I mean, that defensive end room, we bounced around those 2 freshmen that played. We were at Missouri State, and they're both playing. Whereas in the past we might have navigated different, but it gave us the ability to do that without losing their year. So I mean, it's been really positive for us.
How is everybody?
We're better. We're better. I think I think the good thing is Butcher should be back this week. Kareem Taylor should be back this week. Tommy Bryant's practicing. Quay Drake's practicing. I can't remember who all else was out, guys, because there's so many. We only got a couple guys that aren't starters still out with some of the flu-like stuff. So hopefully, for the most part, it's behind us. We're getting some guys back from injury. We're still not 100%, but we're in a much better place than we were a week ago, to say the least.
Daniel David, I was reading the Big South notes and something popped out at me. I think he's 1 or 2 touchdowns short, rushing touchdown, of becoming second in the conference all-time in quarterback rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
The fact that as a 1-year starter, and I know that he's had some time to play, but the fact that not only is he about to get to that point, but KSU won #1 and #2 at that point. Is that at all surprising to you that he's able to do it this fast?
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of what Daniel's done today. He's embraced, I told y'all it was like partway through the year last year. He and I had a conversation, and he really he's like, I'm going to go be the guy. And he's embraced whatever it's taken to win the game. You know what I mean? And he's gone about his business the right way. I'm just really proud of the way he's played, what he's doing, the way he's going about his business. It's amazing for him to get to it that quick with really, like you said, only being the starter for a year. But he's had to take us on his shoulders at times. He really has, with a lot of guys trying to grow up and learn how to play the game the right way. So extremely proud of what he's done. He's been resilient. He's been tough. You know what I mean? So I'm proud of Daniel's progress. He's going to have to continue to play well for us to continue doing what we're doing. But I don't have any doubt that he's on a mission to do that.
I know he got banged up the last game, but he's perfectly fine.
I don't know if he's perfectly fine. I don't know how many guys on our team are perfectly fine right now, and I don't mean to be sarcastic about that, but he's good to go and practicing and ready to play. They're all, this time of year, John, it's everybody that plays a significant amount has something going on. But he's ready to play, he's practicing. We'll have our complement back at quarterback, kind of like where we were a couple of weeks ago for what we were trying to get accomplished. And so hopefully we can continue to do that.
Have you seen that toughness kind of feed off on other players at times on the sideline?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's I don't get, on the sideline, I'll be honest with you guys, I got my headset on. Sometimes some things going on there and I'm not fully aware of. But like in the game, I think it was Saturday, he was down the field and actually knocked a guy on the ground after he had pitched the ball. You know what I mean? And I think that kind of stuff the other kids look at and go, all right, that's the quarterback doing it. That's not the slot. That's not the wideout. That's not the tackle. That's not the guard. That's the quarterback. So I think he's embraced what's going on. He wants to compete. He wants to win. And so those things have been really positive for him.
Yesterday, the NCAA came out and said players can, in theory, start to make money off of their likeness here in a couple of years once everybody creates the rules. What are your thoughts on that decision?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. Like a lot of rules and things in legislation that comes out, I think sometimes I don't know that all the ramifications of what it means are going to fully be known until this thing kind of sets in for a little while. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how everything unfolds, with how this is going to be unpacked. I think it's primarily going to affect your Power 5 schools more than anything. So we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds and what comes from it. As always with legislation, it's always interesting because you don't know exactly how it's what direction it's gonna go, how it's gonna impact this, impact that. So I think we got to see how it unfolds and how it's impacted. I think most of the kids are just excited about getting the NCAA. They think that, the NCAA game's coming back. That's their biggest thing. They want the game back. So I know they'd be excited about that if that's part of the deal. All right, thanks, guys.